So I finally got around to watching the new horror movie Iron Lung, which is directed by Markiplier, a known YouTuber. He also stars in the movie as the lead, and this is a movie that I've been interested about because it's another horror movie made by a YouTuber just like Talk to Me or Bring Her Back. I'm aware that Iron Lung is a horror video game. I've never played it, I've never seen any gameplay of it, so I'm going into this without knowing really any knowledge about the game. Iron Lung follows a desperate claustrophobic mission where we follow a lone pilot who is in a really small submarine, and we follow him through an ocean of blood that is on a moon after a cosmic catastrophe called the Quiet Rapture, where it erased planets and left humanity on the brink of survival. And the film is largely contained in this submarine, with no shots really being outside of the submarine. Whatever shots we have are within the submarine, or what our protagonist sees, which I think his name is Simon in the movie, as we see him dealing with failing systems, limited options, and the psychological toll of being isolated in this small environment, with the stakes being his freedom, his survival, and also having limited resources in the submarine, where the movie is basically framed by the mission's brutal rules, like the rules that, and the way this movie does this is by literalizing the confinement that Simon is in. Submarine's metal shell kind of becomes a pressure cooker for fear, memory, and paranoia, where the setting of the submarine forces the film to explore how physical restriction amplifies that mental deterioration. And I'm not going to give too much away because I want you to see this movie for yourself, but he's left with a lot of options where he doesn't even know when he gets up to the top if he's going to survive or not, or if they're just going to send him back down anyway. We find out a little bit about his backstory. We don't get too much lore, but we get enough to where we understand, and there's still that mysterious factor about the character of Simon, where we find out that he's a convict. This mission that he's sent on is basically near suicide, and so the movie kind of shapes to really make you ask who society discards and what freedom actually costs, especially after you hear what he did and what they're accusing the protagonist of. And watching this movie, it kind of follows that video game logic where, since I haven't played Iron Lung, it kind of made me think of Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie Five Nights at Freddy's just took place within the room that you're stuck in the first or in second one, where you don't really walk around or anything, you're just stuck in the one office. And it kind of reminded me of that, where it feels procedural, it feels rule based. You have limited resources, you have limited chances to get out of certain situations. I think it was really well done how Markiplier was able to turn that into cinematic dread, really use this framing to study this character of Simon. I hope we're able to explore him more if we get a sequel. I hope we get a sequel. I don't know if there's an Iron Lung 2, but I think the way that the movie ends, there is a doorway to open up for a sequel. It's more open world. It's not just focused so simple in this little submarine. The way I think about it, I see this franchise being kind of like what Saw did. The first Saw was simple. It was confined in one room, some other scenes taking place outside, mostly being in that one room. And then second movie, it was all about building the world and exploring the lore of Jigsaw and everything. I think this franchise, if they do it well, they can do something like that. But Markiplier in the lead, it feels really raw, it feels really committed, and you don't see that a lot. Markiplier before this wasn't an actor. He was a content creator. He was himself on screen. And now he is kind of stepping into another avenue of his career where he's becoming an actor and director. Let's not forget that. His performance feels emotionally honest and physical. And maybe that's because he's played video games where he's a character like this, so he's able to get into that mindset, because when you're playing a video game, you literally are that character and you follow his journey. And so maybe that's how he was able to really step into the character, because he has in video games playing them. But I mean, just with his physicality too, how he controlled his breathing, how he used Simon's panic, and just these small gestures that carry a lot of the film's weight. There's nothing really else to look at or to notice, and so the little things in his performance make the biggest impact. I also like how Markiplier focuses his direction on atmosphere over the spectacle, because there are some great things to look at in this movie, but it's mostly about the atmosphere, the long takes and the tight framings, and then the sound design that makes this movie feel mechanical. And the sound design uses Simon's breathing to keep that tension and keep you feeling claustrophobic, and then also slowing the pacing down to where it feels slow. It feels like you're sitting in the submarine with Mark, and it feels like you're being punished, like not in a bad way, but it feels like you're being punished with Markiplier, and like you're trying to find a way out of the submarine just like him. Also, the visual design of this movie, it feels really gritty. It feels really lived in and claustrophobic, where the practical effect production design in this movie do a lot of the heavy lifting as well, where to sell that the environment of the submarine, you're on this moon in this like blood like river or ocean, like everything from like just having like the blood drip down in the submarine, like it's just like getting in through like the seams of the submarine, and the decision to keep the submarine like closed, like even when he surfaces and talks to the other people are like talking to him and like walking him through what he has to do, you're almost close to being free, but like they won't let you out, like you're still stuck in here. It feels like you're desperate to get out, just like Simon is. And then a lot of the crew, like other like supporting characters, being off screen and just using like a radio to communicate with them, again intensifies the sense of being like confined and being isolated. It's just incredible how Markiplier was able to capture that feeling so well. But yeah, I think Iron Lung is a bold, narrowly focused piece of sci-fi horror that succeeds when you let it suffocate you. Its atmosphere, production design, committed lead performance by Markiplier create a memorable, oppressive experience. And if you appreciate minimalist psychological horror and patient world building, I think it's a great horror film. And if I had to rate this movie, I'd give it an 8 out of 10, an A minus. And I'm not someone who was really a fan of Markiplier before watching this movie. Like I've seen a couple of his videos, but I was more of a Jacksepticeye fan, or I watch gaming YouTubers that I watch a lot were like Vanoss Gaming and like those type of people, the FaZe people as well, like FaZe Jev. And I think I kind of grew out of Jacksepticeye like after Skate 3 and like Happy Wheels. Like that was like my prime of watching Jacksepticeye. I mainly watched his Happy Wheel videos and his Skate 3 videos. Like that was prime Jacksepticeye for me. Let me know what you think about Iron Lung down below. I would like to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to like and follow.